active symbols and the ant colony metaphor. So, what is enough? What am I advocating? What do I mean by symbol? I gave an exposition of my concept of active symbols in chapters 11 and chapter 12 of Gödel, Escher and Bach. However, the notion was first presented in the dialogue Prelude, Ant Fugue. In that book, which revolved around a hypothetical conscious ant colony, the purpose of the discussion was not to speculate about whether ant colonies are conscious or not, but to set up an extended metaphor for brain activity, a framework in which to discuss that relationship between holistic or collective phenomena and the microscopic events that make them up. One of the ideas that inspired the dialogue has been stated by E.O. Wilson in his book The Insect Societies, this way. Mass communication is defined as the transfer among groups of information that a single individual could not pass to another. One has to imagine terms of teams of ants cooperating on tasks and information passing from team to team that no ant is aware of, if ants indeed are aware of information at all, but that is another question. One can carry this up a few levels and imagine hyper teams carrying and passing informations that no hyperteam, not to mention team or solitary ant, ever dreamt of. I feel it's critical to focus on collective phenomena, particularly on the idea that some information or knowledge or ideas can exist at the level of collective activities while being totally absent at the lowest level. In fact, one can even go so far as to say that no information exists at that lowest level. It's hardly an amazing revelation when transported back to the brain, namely that no ideas are flowing in those neurotransmitters that spark back and forth between neurons. Yet such a simple notion undermines the idea that thought and symbol manipulation are the same thing. If by symbol one means a formal token such as a bit or a letter or a Lisp's name, what is the difference? Why couldn't symbol manipulation, in the sense that I believe Simon and Newell and many writers on AI mean it, accomplish the same thing? The crux of the matter is that these people see symbols as lifeless, dead, passive objects, things to be manipulated by some overlying program. I see symbols, representational structures in the brain, or perhaps someday in a computer, as active, like the imaginary hyper teams in the ant colony. That is the level at which denotation takes place, not at the level of the single ant. The single ant has no right to be called symbolic because its actions stand for nothing. Of course, in a real ant colony, we have no reason to believe that teams at any level genuinely stand for objects outside the colony, or inside it for that matter. But the ant colony metaphor is only a thinly disguised way of making discussion of the brain more vivid.